So lagi kong sinasabi, change only happens once you admit na kailangan mo yon. Ang problema kasi sa ating mga Pilipino, especially here in North America, specifically in Canada, we still have extra baggages na nakuha pa natin from our ancestors in the past and doon sa buhay natin before we migrated to Canada. And even sometimes Filipinos here in abroad, kahit na dito na sila pinanganak, just because they were raised by traditional Filipino families, nakukuha pa rin natin yung mga mentality natin back when we were home. Kaya unfortunately, dala-dala pa rin natin yung bad habits natin that becomes the obstacle for when we have the potential to get financial freedom that we seek. Now, hindi ko naman nila lahat. Of course, there are still Filipino traits that I'm super proud of. Like, I know Filipinos are some of the hardworking people that I know, and we are known for that, and we should be proud of that. Kaya nga ako gumagawa ng mga ganitong videos, mindset, personal development, entrepreneurship, kasi alam ko talaga that we have the potential. Kaya lang ang kulang sa atin, we don't have the mindset and we don't have the diskarte that we need. We always think na kailangan natin ng malaking kapital. We always think that we need to know everything bago tayo nag-i-start sa isang bagay, kasi nga we have that habit of pleasing people around us or not letting anybody down. So ang sinasabi ko sa inyo guys, there are bad traits na kapag hindi nyo natanggal, especially if you are looking to get the financial independence that you want, magiging detrimental ito on your way to success. Kaya sa video na to, stick until the end because I'm gonna talk about 5 toxic financial traits na you have to watch out for, especially kung nagpapalago ka ng finances or maybe you're trying to achieve bigger goals in life. You have to let these traits go in 2025 and as we approach 2026 kasi dito talaga magbabago yung buhay mo. And guys, make sure you stay tuned until the end kasi yung last trait na pag-uusapan natin, you might think this mindset is harmless pero ito talaga yung reason why you're not moving forward or why it is going to be hard for you to achieve anything in this life. Let's go! Okay, alam ko naman na this is a very sensitive topic, lalo na kasi ito ay usaping pera. But let me tell you something, truth, even though it hurts, it will set you free. At kapag tinanggap mo yung katotohanan na yun, dun mo lang makikita your need to change something. Kaya nga diba sa simula sinabi ko, change only happens when you admit that you need it. Ako lagi ko namang sineshare sa inyo guys, diba? I didn't come from a lot of money. I had to work my way up. Started from the ground. Talagang nagkaroon ako ng mga part-time jobs. I studied while I hustled. Kaya itong mga videos na ginagawa ko so you can learn from my mistakes so you can skip them. You don't have to do them because you're learning from someone who's already done them. And when I came here sa Canada, I had so much bad habits that was rooted back when we were in the Philippines. Kasi yun din yung mga beliefs nakita ko from my parents, from my grandparents, and people who I was surrounded with. So naturally, nakukuha mo yun growing up. So ano na nga ba itong mga toxic traits na to? Let's talk about the first trait na kailangan mo nang i-let go. And this is what you call the fiesta mindset. Ito yung mas kilala natin sa ubus-ubus bihaya mentality. This is the act of overspending so you can impress other people. And no, this is not necessarily obvious. And even nga sa sarili mo, di ba, kapag may nagko-call out, sasabihin, oh, grabe naman yung gagastusin mo dito. Don't overspend on just an event like this or don't overspend on a purchase that you may not really need. Pero anong ginagawa natin? We always justify, right? So, gotta watch yourself out for that. This mentality may trick you. And how? Well, your brain might think, gusto ko lang namang maging masaya. Na pangarap mong makuha to. Na this is something that you waited all your life. For example, your wedding. And sabi nga nila, most of the time, you only get married once. So, syempre, anong sasabihin mo sa sarili mo? Well, I just want to be happy. I deserve this. I've waited for this, right? So next thing you know, $40,000 na and you still haven't accounted the 100 extra guests doon sa pinsan mong side na hindi mo naman kilala lahat. Kita mo yung guys, 40,000, That's what I paid for when I did my nursing dito sa Canada and I graduated. I carried a lot of debts, but at least that allowed me to get into the workforce, makapag-work as a nurse, and actually eventually paid it off. But if you're spending $40,000 on a spending na hindi mo pa nga alam kung saan mo kukunin, then it is a dangerous mentality. You can't even travel with your spouse, or you can't even begin life without debts. You ever wonder why marriages, they don't work or they don't look good in the first 3 years? Because ang problema na agad nila is pera. In some cases, couples would argue because, let's be real, there's probably one sa couple na yon na mas adamant na gumastos. But at the end of the day, they both agreed to doing it. So there's really no point of arguing. Kaya tatanungin ka guys, is it worth to risk your lifetime savings or sometimes money that you don't even have yet, you have yet to earn para sa 3 hours na happiness na sinasabi mo? And I mean, let's be real, 200 to 400 guests in a wedding, how fun can it be? Makakausap mo ba sila lahat? And here's my question to you. Do you need to please these people? At the end of the day, masaya ka nga, but you didn't really get to talk to those 200 people that you invited. And at the same time, you felt obligated pleasing those people, putting up a show so they don't get disappointed for the money that you spent on that event. So again, guys, think about this. This is a very occurrence, especially in the Filipino community. I am not saying that you deserve anything less, but make sure you have your priorities in order. Okay, ano pa yung mga expenses na naiisip ko? Sasakyan. Ano ba talaga ang difference ng Honda sa Tesla? Well, I'll give you one word, status. Pero kung ikaw, $50,000 income earner ka, what do you need luxury car for? And ito pa nga ang kicker dito. It doesn't matter if you earn $200,000 kung ang spending mo naman goes close to what you earn, okay? Kasi look at it this way, it's not about the income. There is no need to buy luxury items unless you already have assets that are paying for what we call quote-unquote luho. At the end of the day, if you're only making $50,000 but you keep your spending relatively low, about 30, let's say 35,000 max, you still have a good margin kasi doon kayo nagkakaroon ng surplus na tinatawag, so you can invest, so you can do something else, or you can use it for side hustle, anything that will improve your life. So ito ang rule dyan, guys. Never use active income to fund your luho. Always take the longer route. Make money that will buy the asset that will then fund your luho. And then when you have the passive income that you want, then there you go. You can spend on luxury items all you want because you're no longer getting it from active income. Active income requires active effort. If that's what you're going to use to fund your lifestyle, that's also how you're not going to stop working. Okay, sa susunod na trait na tayo, it is the utang culture. Guys, very common to in the Filipino community because back home, it is something normalized, which makes it dangerous kasi dito sa Canada, credit is life. Basta wala ka lang utang, nagsisimula ka o may maganda kang trabaho, they will give you credit. Kasi this becomes helpful for what we call credit score. In Canada, ito yung mga nagdidictate ng trustworthiness mo for how you manage credit or utang. Kung ikaw ako, when I was 20 years old, you're probably looking at your credit card as form of emergency fund. Pero ako na nagsasabi sa'yo, it is very dangerous to look at it that way. Nang kahit wala kang surplus na income, kaskas ka pa rin for booking travels, bili ka pa rin ng mga bagay na hindi mo naman kailangan, o kaya online shopping or eating out in restaurants. And knowing what I know now, I was like, how crazy it was for me to think na bayaran yung mga bagay with the money that I don't have yet. Sino sa inyo dito yung nagka-calculate every time na bibili kayo ng purchases at nagka-calculate kayo ng sahod nyo next 2 weeks? Isn't that crazy? Guys, I was in that shoes before. And that is the reason why I live paycheck to paycheck. Kasi wala pa nga yung sahod ko. I was already allocating it for things that don't even give me money, but actually eats it up. And tapos, because you only have enough to cover the advance expenses that you incurred, kulang na para sa mga monthly interest. So anong gagawin? magbubukas ka na naman ng personal line of credit, you're gonna pay your credit card with your personal line of credit, and next thing you know, you are in a hamster wheel of debts. Enough na nga lang yung paycheck mo, ang gagawin pa rin natin is we get new iPhones, we put it on installment kasi hindi naman natin kailangan i-cash yan. We're gonna buy vacuums, we're gonna buy filters, and next thing we know, everything stacks up at doon tayo nalulubog sa utang. Alright, the next toxic trait that you must avoid is the padala mindset. At hindi ito yung OFW doing remittances. I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about people who literally have nothing left in their bank account kasi pinadala na nila every single cent that they work hard for sa Pilipinas. Akala nila pinupulot lang namin ang pera. Well, let me ask you this question. How can they not think that way? That's literally what you make them think by sending all your lifetime savings to them, right? Isipin niyo yung analogy na nung bata ka, if you want to buy something, toys, candies, whatever, and then you ask for your mom and your mom would tell you, no, wala na tayong pera, hindi natin mabibili yan. And then you look at your grocery cart, marami kayong binibili. So what does that make you think? Na they're lying because they're telling me one thing but I'm seeing another, or which is the complete opposite. So be very careful how you're showing up for people, for relatives back home. I'm not saying don't help them, but I'm just saying at the end of the day, take care of what you have dito muna. So guys, what I see a lot is OFW after years of service, they come back home only to find out na wala namang naipundar. Walang naipon. So let's say 40 years of working, hustling, and then they come back home only to get disappointed and only to continue to working again. I've seen this happen multiple times, guys. So make sure you learn how to save, how to invest so you can keep multiplying your money. And yes, even while you're helping your relatives back home, that's not what I'm saying here. All I ask of you is to make sure you also have a way to take care of yourself, not just now, but later on when you retire and go back home. And lastly, guys, I want to say this. Walang masamang tumulong. But if you make people get so comfortable to the point that they don't work, that is very dangerous. Kasi you hand them an easy life, they get spoiled, and they think life is easy just because you're always there. Eh, ang tanong, lagi ka bang nandyan? Can you guarantee your health? Can you guarantee your life? So you're not necessarily setting up your family for success. All right, and then the next trait natin, ito very popular to amongst Filipino, and I'm sure you know this as well, the crab mentality mindset. Guys, I'm sure you and I can talk about this all day long, pero ito lang ang masasabi ko, guys. Wag na wag tayong maghihilahan pababa. And we have to fight the urge to do so. Kasi nga, this is deeply rooted in our culture, and even me sometimes I can't help but wonder why. And I believe there are so much opportunities for everybody na hindi naman natin kailangang magkaingitan. And by the way, if you haven't watched one of my videos, I'm gonna post it on the description below. Ang inggit, it is an emotion that as humans are innate to us. The only question becomes, how would you use your jealousy to have a positive outcome? So panoorin niyo yung video na ilalagay ko sa description. It is an episode for how you're gonna turn your jealousy into admiration instead, so it inspires you to take action and do something bigger in life. Ito yung kapag may nakikita kang successful or yung mga tao na kahit nasa baba pa sila, they're at their starting point, but because you're seeing that they're actively pursuing what they want, they're sacrificing the things that you may not be able to sacrifice kasi wala ka pang mindset. So what are the common things Filipino would do with this crab mentality mindset? Magdi-discourage, sisiraan, i-judge, right? O kaya hindi susuportahan. Ito yung mga bagay na, guys, you have to fight the urge, because if you normalize it and instead of changing it, you get to a circle where they normalize it. Kaya kayo kung makikipag-hangout kayo sa mga taong walang pangarap sa buhay and you normalize it, right? So what is the end result? Ang gagawin nyo, pag-uusapan nyo yung tao sa paligid nyo, the ones who are are trying in life or who are striving to become better version of themselves. Guys, jealousy is not a bad thing if you become master of your emotion and instead your emotion manipulating you, you will know the power that lies behind them and how you can allocate your energy into turning these emotions as fuel to achieve something bigger. Kahit different timelines yan, do not be that person just because you don't know how to get there. Do not be the person that cast doubt. Sasabihin pa ng iba, ay scam yan. O, kalayuan mo to. Or don't talk to him. I don't think he knows what he's talking about. Become the person that thinks about, bakit kaya niya to tinatry? Oh, how did he make it? How did he do it? Become that person and then watch your jealousy becomes an admiration. Next thing you know, kasama mo na yung taong yon and you guys are figuring out how to level up in life. Guys, if you tune in sa Built Different channel na to, support others, learn from their success, and replicate it to your own life. Okay guys, last trait na tayo. Ito yung sinabi ko sa inyo sa simula that if you don't pay attention to this mindset and you always think about it on a regular basis, you might think it is harmless, but it is the exact reason why you're not progressing. It is the bahala na mindset. Unfortunately, tayo mga Pilipino, we think we're resilient and we are. Tama naman yun. But because we think we can handle everything that life throws at us, we never think of a better way of doing things. So ang ginagawa na lang natin ay kahit naman gawin ko to o gawin ko to, parehas lang naman ang outcome. So gagawin ko na lang siya na mas mahirap. You know what I mean? So, ang mindset mo, bahala na si Batman. I'm gonna give you guys an example sa finance na madalas ko makita. No emergency fund. That is a very common occurrence, especially amongst sa mga taong nakikilala ko or whenever I do my financial reviews with people, they don't have emergency fund. Kapag tinatanong ko saan kukunin ng emergency savings, they have credit cards or personal line of credit. Again, balik din naman tayo sa utang mindset. Or what else? Mga walang insurance or they don't believe in insurance or some people, they have the crab mentality and influence people not to get insurance because apparently it's a quote-unquote scam. Tapos sasabihin na iba, wala daw silang pera pambayad ng insurance and yet they have things to pay for Netflix, for their eating out, when in fact, you can buy a very cost-effective insurance. Think about it, kung wala na talaga kayong pera and there are lives dependent on you, then all the more you need life insurance. Kasi if something were to happen to you, edi lalong wala nang inasahan yung pamilya mo. So you see ang justification ng excuses natin, it boils down to the bahala na mindset. Like, whatever happens is meant to happen. Well, there is another big one, living day to day na hindi na nagtatabi para sa retirement. Ano daw ang sinasabi? Kasi andyan naman daw ang anak nila to take care of them. Guys, our kids should not be our insurance policies. They are not obligated to take care of us when we're older, right? Now, they naturally will because they love us, they care for us, but we should not depend our future sa mga anak natin na pinag-aaral natin ngayon because it's our responsibility to take care of them, doesn't matter how old they are. Alright guys, those are the 5 money toxic traits na kailangan mo nang i-let go this 2025. And I promise you, when you let them go, people will find you different. And let me tell you this, that is completely okay. Kasi all of a sudden, nag-iba ka na. Nag-iba na yung mindset mo. But that also means na meron ka ng shot of actually changing your finances and your mindset. And tatandaan mo lang, whenever you feel different because you are built different. See you in the next episode.